Pathan. In 2019, the Indian government disavows Article 370, which awards exceptional status for Jammu and Kashmir. The news influences a malignant growth-ridden Pakistani Armed Force General, Qadir Manish Wadhwa, who chooses to correct retaliation against India. The specialists have given him 3 years to live. He signs an agreement with John Abraham, who drives Outfit X, a confidential fear-based oppressor association. In the interim, Pathan, Shah Rukh Khan, a previous crude specialist, and his senior official Nandini Grewal, Dimple Kapadia, open a unit named the Joint Tasks and Secretive Exploration (JOCR) unit to enroll previous crude specialists who had to resign because of past injury, however need to serve the country. Pathan was harmed in an activity in Myanmar and has metal plates in his foot and neck and screws in his shoulders to keep his body intact. JCOR incorporates Shweta Bajaj, Ektikal, programmer; Raza, Shaji Chaudhary; Joseph Matthews, Dignata Hazarika, expert sharpshooter; Amol, Akash Batija; Rishi Arya, Virup Patel, knowledge examiner, with crew joint secretary, Colonel Sunil Luthras, Ashutosh Rana. Acknowledgement: Pathan persuades him that Outfit X has its hands in all the significant fear-based oppressor assaults of the last 10 years. Pathan and his group head to Dubai to stop Outfit X's arrangements of going after the leader of India at a logical meeting. Nonetheless, they understand that their real arrangement was to grab 2 researchers, Dr. Faruqi, Prem Jangiani, and Dr. Sahani, Prakash Belvadi, all things being equal, and the data they got about the inevitable assault on the president was a ploy to misdirect them. The Indian offices expanded the security for the president and decreased it for the researchers. Pathan goes for the researchers. Jim assaults the researchers' guard and Pathan attempts to stop him. A battle follows, in which Rishi passes on, where Jim figures out how to escape with Dr. Sahani. At the post-op interview back at the organization, Luthra uncovers that Jim was a previous crude specialist and Kabir Dhaliwal's accomplice. Jim was granted with the Veer Puraskar for his boldness after the organization couldn't find his body when Somalian fearmongers killed his significant other and unborn youngster. Jim had separated 6 prisoners from the psychological militants. The fearmongers hijacked him and his significant other and needed 10 crores for their delivery, which the government would not pay. He had obviously faked his demise to look for retribution against the organization and country for not saving his loved ones. In the meantime, Pathan finds out about the code word named Rakbij, and furthermore that the dead individuals in Dubai were ex-specialists and their cash was moved from the record of Rubina Rubai Mohsen, Deepika Padukone, a Pakistani specialist in Spain. He goes to Spain and is caught by Jim's men, where he additionally discovers that Rubai is an ex-ISI specialist who works for Jim. Jim needs to enroll Pathan into the Outfit X, yet he denies. Jim contends that they work on decision tasks and are paid abundantly. At the point when Jim leaves his hideaway, Rubai assaults Jim's men and breaks with Pathan. Rubai is hit in the midsection and Pathan saves her. Rubai uncovers that Rakbij is in Moscow. Nandini exhorts against pursuing Rakbij as they don't have the foggiest idea what it is. Furthermore, Russia is a well-disposed country and in all, where they travel to take it before Jim does. The Rakbij is put away on the planet's most protected vault with intricate safety efforts. They go gaga for one another, exchanging accounts of their past and how they came into the covert agent calling. Pathan gadgets an arrangement to break into the vault and succeeds. In any case, Rubai sells out Pathan and has him caught by the Russian police who meet at the vault, as Rubai escapes with the Rakbij. It is uncovered that Jim utilized Rubai to make Pathan take the Rakbij for himself. Pathan is caught and tormented ruthlessly. Nandini lets the Russians know that Pathan is a maverick specialist and his activities were not endorsed by the government of India, and brought to jail via train, yet is saved by Avinash Tiger Singh Rathore, Salman Khan. After 3 years, Pathan goes to Africa and catches Jim's thug Raf, Rajat Kaul. He is following Rubai. Pathan kidnaps Raf from an arms market and takes off in a helicopter after a merciless battle with the arm vendor. Pathan meets Nandini and uncovers about Jim buying 2 Sabre rockets, while Nandini uncovers Rubai's area in Paris. The JCOR facial acknowledgement programming recognized her wandering the roads of Paris. Pathan meets Rubai. He realizes that Rubai being followed Josiar was a greeting by Rubai for that the gathering Rakbij is a changed smallpox infection. The ongoing immunizations don't neutralize it, which was effectively evolved by a hostage Dr. Sahani compelled. She additionally communicates culpability about deceiving Pathan without realizing that her nation would plan such an intolerable assault. She uncovers Jen Kadir was paying Jim. The infection is powerful just for a couple of HRS, and in this manner no gamble of worldwide virus. It will just annihilate Indian urban areas against which it will be sent off by means of rockets. They travel to Jim's lab in Siberia. They can't annihilate it with rockets as infection could get away and go through could to 3 landmasses, and figure out how to recuperate one sphere containing the infection with extraordinary trouble, while Jim escapes with the other circle. Luthra and Nandini arrive at Jim's lab to return the sphere to the Indian Establishment of Infectious Illnesses, IICD, in India to foster an immunization. Luthra additionally has Rubai captured for having problematic loyalties. At the IICD in India, Dr. Faruqi shows the circle to Nandini. Jim calls them and uncovers that the sphere has proactively spread the infection in the office. The contaminated researchers, alongside Nandini, bite the dust in the office by shooting themselves to control the spread of the infection. Afterward, the office is obliterated in a controlled impact. Jim gives a final proposal to clear Indian troopers out of Kashmir in something like 24 hours, else he will send off the infection against an Indian city through his rocket. Pathan cross-examines Raf about the area of the rocket and discovers that the rocket is arranged in Afghanistan. In the wake of protecting Rubai, they draw Jim's partners into a snare and assault Jim's base. Kadir is killed by Rubai prior to actuating the rocket containing the infection. Pathan pursues Jim with a fly pack and the two of them crash land into a lodged eye. In the meantime, Rubai deactivates the rocket, yet observes that Rakbij isn't in the rocket, yet rather in a traveler-bound plane, which is going to land in Delhi. She illuminates Pathan, who finds that Jim has the detonator. Luthra calls the aviation authority to keep the plane from arriving in Delhi. In the lodge, Pathan and Jim battle severely, bringing about the lodge starts sliding off a bluff. Regardless of getting cut by Jim, Pathan takes the detonator, deactivates Rakbij and tosses Jim out of the lodge as the establishment is going to break. While Jim clutches aboard, Pathan removes his Veer Puraskar, considering him shameful of it. He steps and breaks the board Jim was clutching, bringing about him tumbling to his evident demise. Subsequently, Pathan is re-established in Decrude and made as the head of JOCR, while Nandini is after death granted with the Veer Puraskar for her boldness. In a mid-credits scene, Pathan and Tiger are seen considering about resigning and proposing youthful specialists who can supplant them, yet at last choose to continue to battle the actual dangers.